Okay, welcome everybody back to Steve Talks Boxing X, STBX, where we talk real boxing with real boxing fans. And welcome to the Roundup show with Darren, December show. In this show, we've been looking at the past highlights of last month in December. And joining me, of course, is Darren from Sir Chatterlock Boxing. Welcome back, Darren. Happy New Year.
Cheers, Steve, and to you. Great to be back on again.
Yeah, hopefully 2025 is going to be a big one for both of us anyway. So
let's hope so, mate.
Lots of content and hopefully lots of big fights to talk about.
Yeah.
Going straight into it, who was your fighter of the month in December, Darren?
I think there can only be one, the man that was on everybody's mind, and that's got to be Alexander Usyk for me.
Absolutely.
There he's the main man. He achieved brilliance. I mean, you know, it was 50-50 fight. He won the first one, 50-50 fight. There is lots of opinions on it, you know. Some people going Fury, some people going Usyk. I always picked Usyk to win on points. I got that one right, Liz. I got that. I'm proud I got that one right. Yeah. But it was just a great display again from him. I mean, he's a superb boxer, superb athlete. He lives the life. I mean, to come up from cruiserweight to do what he's done. I mean, when you look at at heavyweight, you know, he's beat Joshua twice. He's beat Derek Chisora. He's now beat Fury twice. He's just, I don't think there's anybody else that deserves that title to be the fighter of the month.
Yeah. And it was just announced the WBC Fight of the Year as well, which was announced today, which is rightly so, I think, as well.
You can't argue with it at all. Fight of the month, fight of the year. He's just been tremendous. Having 2 wins over Tyson Fury. Fabulous stuff.
Yeah, it almost cements, almost if he did retire, he's sort of maybe a boxing legacy, I think. So if he did choose to retire, hopefully he doesn't. So hopefully we've got a couple more fights with him anyway. So,
I hope so. Yeah, definitely.
It certainly puts him up there, you know, with some of the greatest anyway. What was the fight of the month? Or was that a silly question for you in December?
Well, this for me, that card, it was two totally different fights, but it was a toss-up for me between Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen or Tyson Fury and Usyk, because
let's look at this one. Let's go Usyk Fury first. So obviously, you know, good fight. You said it was the right decision. A lot of people said maybe Fury should have won it. I know people have spoken about this loads, but I'm thinking about this more. And the most ironic thing for me, I thought Fury fought better than he did in the first fight, but obviously lost by a bigger margin. So it's
well, I thought they were both better. Skill wise, it was probably a better fight. I mean, that will be my fight of the month. But what I was saying is, when you've got Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen, you had sort of like a slugfest that was entertaining to watch of guys sort of like lower down the levels, respectfully. But then you had the skillfulness of Usyk and Fury, where it was such a brilliant display from both men of skillful boxing on show with footwork, defense. It was just the movement, everything was brilliant about it, and that's why that will get the fight of the month for me. But what I was saying is, when you look at that as regards fight of the month, and then the contrast between like a Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen, where it was an absolute slugfest war, it just depends what you like. But for me, I'm going to go for the skill, whereas I thought Fury Usyk was a brilliant fight, and not quite the drama of the first one, where we had, you know, Fury reeling all around the ring. But it was still a brilliant fight for me, and I think that I'd have to go with that one. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I already know what your controversy of the month is, but we won't just go there just yet. But let's rewind to, obviously, Fury lost. Is the AJ fight, is that the next fight we're going to see? Fury versus AJ?
Well, when you look at it logically, you look at both of their positions. You've got AJ that could possibly rematch Dubois, but I don't think he realistically wants to because of what's happened. I think Dubois is probably living rent free in Anthony Joshua's head, in all honesty. And then you've got Tyson Fury. Obviously, he's lost twice now to Usyk, lost his belts. There's no better matchup now, really, with what's happened in their careers than the time to have Tyson Fury with Anthony Joshua. The only thing is, obviously, this time when it was touted before, there's no belts on the line. It's basically the Battle of Britain, which would still sell out Wembley Stadium.
Yeah. I was about to say, it doesn't make sense now, though. Egos aside, 50-50 split with the money. You know, there's no world titles there. 50-50 split. Like I said, Wembley, summertime, bosh, done.
Yeah, and I hope we do see. I think we will. But you have hit the nail on the head there. This time, there's nothing to get in the way of, I'm the title holder on this. Like, you've just got two guys that, I mean, if anyone probably is going to get more of a split, because he's just been world champion, you'd probably go Tyson Fury. He probably deserves a little bit more if it's going to come down to the splits like that. But I think it's the perfect time to make it, and maybe it'll even be Tyson and AJ's last fight. Maybe it'd be a close one. They have a second and call it a day at that. But I think
before they walk off both holding hands in the sunset. That's what we like to see.
Yeah. All the beef they've had over the years, they'll shake hands, kiss and hug, and say brilliant, and walk off.
Yeah, we'll walk away from it all happy, loads of money. Yeah. We're happy now. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Not sure on the split though. That's another debate on its own, isn't it? Really.
Yeah,
but let's just make the fight happen. To be honest with you, I think
that's Wembley Stadium, not Saudi. That fight,
as long as you don't get a dodgy seat with a big corner post in your view.
Exactly that. Yeah,
then you're fine, really. So avoid them corner seats. That's what my advice is, anyway. So going back to the roundup show, who's your promoter of the month and why?
Well, I don't think I've ever thought of this one
before.
No,
this is a new one for me. Go on.
Yeah. It's usually Frank already this year. Well, last year. So I'm going to start the year afresh. I'm going to go with Turkey. We can have him as promotion, can't we? Yeah.
Yes, man. Yeah. With the undisputed.
Yeah. You know, we can all talk and say, oh, it's the money that sorts things and that. Big shout that is. It's, you know, it definitely helps. But, you know, the man has helped us get the fights that we wanted to see. He helped get the rematch over the line for Usyk and Fury. We've seen it now. That's the decider. There's no trilogy to be made. I thought it was a decent card as well. And then going forward again, I know that we'll talk about December, but going forward, he's putting on a superb card in February for us as well.
Yeah.
Just to get the Usyk Fury second fight alone in December was the big thing for us, wasn't it? So I think it needs to go to Turkey. I think he's done great things for boxing.
I know he takes quite a bit of criticism, but do you think what I've seen of him, he doesn't like criticism, but he is a boxing fan, isn't he? That he loves boxing. What I can see, that's the impression I get.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he bought Michael Benson's account, didn't he, as well on Twitter.
That's something went overnight, didn't it? Really? So
yeah. I remember being at work.
I was going to say, Turkey, if you're watching, I'm open for offers. So
yeah. I'm there as well.
Yeah. Well, January's a tight month.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, when I was at work, and all of a sudden I saw this ring on the logo coming up a lot on Twitter for about the last couple of hours. Like, this? And then someone made a comment, and then I looked for Michael Benson, and he was gone. And then I realised, I was like, wow, he's even purchased that as well. I mean, you know, Benson's had an offer there he couldn't refuse, and he sold it out straight away, hasn't he? So
absolutely, yeah. Will we ever see him?
He's probably made for life.
Yeah. Will we ever see him again? Will he pop up somewhere? Who knows?
Probably not. He's probably made for life sitting on the beach in Barbados or something like that.
It's crazy.
Bought another 6 houses or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that's Turkey's money again. Obviously, Turkey's taking control of Ring Magazine as well. A lot of people didn't like that as well. I think he may be controlling the media there as well. I don't know. It's not a monopoly yet, is it? Really? So there's other media outlets out there. So he's not controlling everyone, I think. So, but who knows? Give it a bit more time, maybe. So,
yeah,
and
definitely.
I know you touched on this earlier, this fight, but what would you say is your boxing controversy of the month is, Darren?
Well, between the 2 fights of the month, really, these 2 fights as well. I mean, the main one for me has got to be the Johnny Fisher, Dave Allen.
Yeah.
It's been the most controversial. I mean, we had the scorecards in Usyk and Fury where, it was 116, 112 times 3. For me, they were too wide. But the result wasn't as such a controversy for me that made the headlines like Johnny Fisher and Dave Allen did. Obviously, and people have seen Mark Tibbs was on my channel and I interviewed about it, and he's supporting his fight. He's absolutely adamant that he watched it back and Johnny Fisher as the right man won. But he's gonna back his fighter. That's fair enough. It's a matter of opinions. For me, I had Johnny Fisher winning by a round. The one thing that I have made a big thing about lately, and I said this to Mark Tibbs as well, the word robbery is overused for me a little bit in boxing. I'm the main one to come on here on your shows and go mad about these judges and talk about controversy and have my Frank Warren rants. But I mean, you come on my review show after, and you said it was disgraceful, but do you actually think it was a robbery?
No, it wasn't such a robbery. I do think Dave Allen won the fight and deserved to win the fight, and I said that on your show from a big Johnny Fisher fan. That was my perspective. I thought Dave Allen won that, and it like I said, it wasn't a robbery, but I just thought it was just a bit of a disgraceful decision, really. Yeah, and I know obviously Mark Tibbs backs his own fighter. He's right to do that. Yeah. That's fair enough.
And it's a matter of opinions. This is the great thing about
boxing.
We've all got opinions.
Exactly.
Our shows wouldn't exist if we all had the same opinion because it'd be boring. But for me, the one thing I did want to pick up on as well that I think I remember when Johnny Fisher's dad had the rant with Gareth A. Davies. I presume you saw that. Well, he had this rant with Johnny Fisher's dad where Johnny Fisher said, Johnny Fisher's dad said, "You're not welcome in our house again," for calling it a robbery and everything. But Johnny Fisher's dad said that Johnny Fisher won the fight, but he gave his reasoning. And I think when his reasonings was, when you watch it back, that he won the first 4 rounds, he won round 10, and I don't know if it was round 7, and then like with the knockdown as well, but it still worked out that he wouldn't have won the fight. So his scorecard didn't really even up there. It wasn't a robbery for me. It was a close fight, but most people I know, including myself, had Dave Allen winning that fight.
I think that's the most upsetting thing about it is that obviously it was close, but it went the wrong decision. Dave Allen should have won the fight, really. So. Although it was close, and I've heard potential rematch talks. Maybe Fisher having one more fight before going back to Dave Allen. There's talks of, isn't there? Really? So
well, Mark Tibbs on my show confirmed to me that his preference would be to not have an immediate rematch.
Yeah,
but then he elaborated that if they both want the rematch, he's happy to do it, but his preference would be not to have an immediate one. Maybe have 1 or 2 fights in between. So let's see. But that fight for me will probably do well at the O2 or somewhere when it happens. So. As long as they both have. I mean, if they have a couple of warm-up fights in between and they both do okay and have wins, it will sell well, probably.
Yeah.
And that's what I'd like to see.
Yeah. Me too. And I think Fisher will learn from this. As well, I think he's got to learn from this if he wants to progress seriously. He's got to correct that wrong. We've seen it before with many fighters. Obviously, first fight didn't turn out the way it does, and the rematch, they blast him away. You look at Wardley Clark. So as long as you learn from your mistakes, really. So.
I think it'd be a great learning fight for him. I think that's what will happen. I think it'd be a great learning fight. I mean, if the rematch happens, to predict a winner probably still is a tough call at the minute, because if they do have a fight in between, it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I do think it'd be a great learning fight for Johnny Fisher because, he's never had that type of fight before, ever.
No.
So it's a new, fresh thing for him. So it'd be interesting to see what happens after that.
Yeah, it's an interesting one to keep an eye out for.
Yeah,
moving on, what fights are you going to be looking forward to in January the most?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the one on Wednesday morning, Jai Opetaia versus David Nyika. I think that's a good fight, in all honesty, for quite a late step in. I'm looking forward to that one. I say Wednesday morning. I think it'd be about midday, something like that.
Yeah, about lunchtime. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a good step in, quite late. I mean, he's a bit sort of like untested so far, Nyika, but it's a good, decent fight. And then we've got
I'm a bit too soon for him, maybe.
Possibly. I mean, I really rate Opetaia, so I'm expecting Opetaia to do like some good things in the fight. But I think it's a better fight than the was it Chin Cara? I think the original opponent. I think it's a better fight than that one. And then we've got the Monster Inoue versus Goodman. Really looking forward to seeing Inoue again. That's a good fight for me.
Yeah,
that's towards the. Is that towards the end of the month or the middle of the month? That one, I can't remember the date of that one.
Coming up about 24th, is it? 23rd, 24th?
Yes, 20. Yes, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
And then that, I think the day after or something, we've got Dalton Smith as well from Sheffield.
So the Friday and the Saturday, that's right, yeah.
Yeah. Interesting to see his progression. The only thing about the Dalton Smith, I'd probably like to have seen a little bit of a better opponent than that. But and then there's a next gen card as well, Matchroom, where Mark Tibbs' fighter, who I really rate, Giorgio Visioli. I'm looking forward to seeing the progression of him. I mean, next gen cards aren't for everyone. They're probably more for boxing hardcore like me and yourself. Yeah. But I'm interested to see how Giorgio Visioli progresses now in his career as a good fighter.
Is that the card at the O2 Indigo? I think is that
O2 Indigo? Friday? Yeah, I think it's the. Yeah, I think it's the 31st, the week after.
Yeah, last day of the month, I think. Yeah, for boxing. So, but it's some interesting fight. Also, a shout out to got Callum Simpson fighting this Saturday. Forgot about him as well.
I did. Yeah.
That just comes to my head. Been pushing it all
sorry, I did. Yeah. Yeah.
So got him and Caroline Dubois as well.
Caroline Dubois. Which will be defending her world title for the first time.
Yeah, I know.
Since she took it off. Well, when Katie Taylor vacated. So I do apologise that we've got Simpson and Steve Woodall. Decent fight, middleweight. So the British title, and then Caroline Dubois on the same card. Not bad, not too bad.
Kick off the new year. And certainly there's plenty more to look forward to in 2025. Hopefully you get some bigger, more cards, big announcements. But that's about it for another show. Thanks, Darren, for your time. Obviously, brilliant. Appreciate that. Support the channel again as normal. Best you can with likes, comments, and subscriptions. See if you agree with Darren's views on that, and see if you agree if we are going to get Fury versus Joshua next as well. But appreciate your time.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.